She had changed her number twice, moved cities once, turned down every project that carried even the faintest trace of Vane Capital's fingerprints. And still, on a Tuesday morning in Portland, Oregon, 3 floors up in the modest architectural firm she had built from nothing, Naomi Clarke looked up from her drafting table and found Marcus Vane standing in the doorway of her office like 5 years was nothing. Like he hadn't shattered her world with 8 words and a settlement check she never cashed. Her pencil snapped in her hand. "You need to leave," she said. He didn't move. He just stood there in that dark suit, looking like a man who had rehearsed this moment 1,000 times and was only now realizing that no amount of rehearsal could prepare him for the real thing. "I know," he said quietly. "I just need 10 minutes first." "You had 6 months. You used 8 words." She set the broken pencil down with the kind of careful precision that meant she was working very hard not to throw it at him. "I think we're done." "Naomi." 10 minutes, she said, and her voice cracked slightly on the second word, which she hated. "The door is open. Say what you came to say." What he came to say took longer than 10 minutes. But she didn't stop him. To understand why Marcus Vane left everything to find her, you have to go back to the beginning. Not the ending, the beginning. Back to the version of this story that Naomi never got to see. 18 months before he walked into her Portland office, Marcus had been sitting in a federal prosecutor's office in Chicago, being told something that made his blood run cold. Gerald Frost, rival developer, old money, and a man with enough corruption buried in his empire to fill a courtroom for a decade, had been building a case against Marcus for 3 years. Not a legal case, a destruction case. The kind that didn't go through courts, the kind that went through people. Frost's investigators had identified Naomi 18 months into her project with Vane Capital. They had documented her, photographed her, built a profile of exactly how much she meant to Marcus. And Marcus, who had spent his entire adult life making sure no one could use the people he loved against him, had made one catastrophic mistake. He had let himself love her out loud. Small things, the coffee on her desk every morning, the way he cleared his calendar on Friday afternoons when she worked late, the night of the spring gala when he had pulled her onto the empty terrace and kissed her in the rain, like a man who had given up pretending he wasn't falling, and she had kissed him back like she'd been waiting for permission. That kiss had been witnessed, and Frost had used it. The message came through Marcus's attorney: back away from the Clarke woman, publicly and permanently, or we move on her directly. No specifics, no timeline, just the quiet, certain weight of a threat from a man who had made good on promises like that before. Marcus made his choice in less than 24 hours. He ended things with Naomi in the coldest, cleanest way he knew how, because clean wounds heal faster than messy ones, and he needed her to walk away angry, not waiting. He signed the NDA to protect her from subpoenas if things escalated. He wrote the check knowing she'd never cash it, because Naomi Clarke had too much pride for that. And her pride was one of the things he loved most about her. And then he hired the best security firm in the country to watch over her quietly for the next 2 years, while his legal team dismantled Gerald Frost piece by careful piece. Frost had been indicted 14 months ago, convicted 6 months ago, sentenced 3 months ago, and Marcus Vane had spent every single day of those 3 months trying to find the courage to do what he was doing right now. Naomi was very still by the time he finished. The morning light had shifted across her drafting table. Somewhere outside, a delivery truck rumbled past. The world kept moving with complete indifference to the fact that everything inside this small office had just rearranged itself. "Show me," she said. He did. He had brought documentation, not because he'd assumed she wouldn't believe him, but because he knew she was the kind of woman who needed evidence over emotion. Court records, security logs. The original threat communication was preserved by his attorney. 18 months of protective detail reports she had never known existed. She went through every page slowly, carefully. The way she reviewed architectural plans, looking for the flaw, the weak point, the place where the structure might fail. She didn't find one. When she set the last page down, she didn't speak for a long time. "You should have told me," she said finally. "I could have handled it." "I know you could have." His voice was low. "That was never the question. The question was whether I could handle watching you carry that danger because of me, and the answer was no." A pause. "I'm not proud of that, but I won't lie to you about it either." She stood up slowly and walked to the window. Portland stretched out below her, green and grey and nothing like Chicago, and she had built a life here that was genuinely good, genuinely hers. She had told herself on the harder mornings that the pain had made her stronger, that losing him had clarified her. She had not told herself she was over him. She was smart enough to know that wasn't true. "You left everything?" she asked, her back still to him. "Restructured the company, moved the headquarters to a smaller operation, stopped chasing the kind of deals that put targets on the people around me." A beat. "Some things aren't worth the size of the empire they build." She turned then. He was closer than she expected. He had crossed the room quietly, the way he always moved, with that particular stillness that made the space between them feel charged and deliberate. His eyes searched her face with an openness she had never seen from him 5 years ago. The armor was gone. Whatever he had been protecting himself with back then, the control, the distance, the careful emotional management, he had left it at the door. "I'm not asking you to forget 5 years," he said. "I'm not asking you to pretend it didn't hurt. I know it hurt. I know exactly how much it cost you, because it cost me the same." His hand came up slowly, the way you move around something fragile, and his fingers brushed her jaw, just barely, just enough. "I'm asking you to let me start from here, from today, from whatever this is worth to you right now." She looked at him for a long moment. The pencil she had snapped earlier was still on her desk. Her half-finished blueprints were still spread across the drafting table. Her whole careful, constructed Marcus-free life was right here around her. And he was right here too. "You came all the way to Portland," she said. "I would have gone further. You restructured your entire company. I would have burned it down." Something shifted in her chest, a lock turning that she hadn't realized was still there. She closed the distance between them. The kiss was nothing like the one on the Chicago terrace 5 years ago. That one had been electric, giddy, drenched in rain and newness and the terrifying joy of a feeling you haven't named yet. This one was different. This one was two people who knew exactly what they were choosing, and choosing it anyway. It was slow and certain, and so achingly honest that she felt it in places she'd been carefully keeping numb for 5 years. When they finally pulled apart, his forehead dropped to hers, the same way it had that night on the terrace, like his body remembered things his mind had tried to forget. "I made you a vow," he said quietly, "the day I walked out of that office, that I would fix it, that I would come back, that I would find you when it was safe and tell you the truth even if you sent me away." She pulled back just enough to look at him. "That's the secret vow?" she asked. "That's the secret vow?" Outside, the Portland sky had opened up, soft rain tapping against the window glass, the city going grey and silver and quiet. and Naomi Clarke, who had once built walls with the precision of an architect and the stubbornness of a woman who refused to be broken, felt the last one come down. "Then I guess," she said softly, "you kept it." He pulled her close again, and this time, neither of them let go. Some men chase wealth. Some men chase power. Marcus Vane crossed 5 years, 1 conviction, and 1,000 miles of regret to chase the only thing that ever actually mattered. And she had been right there, waiting, even when she didn't know she was. Did you see that ending coming? Drop a comment below. Like this video, share it with someone who loves a good love story, and hit subscribe so you never miss the next one.